Could you imagine what would happen if after a Superman film, your next follow-up was a Superman film that features Batman and they're fighting each other? Yeah, we're gonna get that again? Yeah, James Gunn just teased the sequel to Superman, and it doesn't seem like it's a Superman film at all. Instead, it looks like it's a team-up and probably featuring Batman. I don't think that worked the first time, but that's more the fault of the director, let's be real. So let's be clear about this one. The reason that Batman v Superman didn't work right out the gate was because they were building off a foundation that was contrary to what this film was establishing. Man of Steel set up a world where Superman was alone, with a few Easter eggs but nothing deep. They expected us by the second film to believe that Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Batman all exist, and that this universe has just had superheroes all over it. Now, James Gunn is, of course, approaching this in a different way with his film. Superman is being dropped into the middle of an ongoing world, and as we can see, Metropolis is just Metropolis. A kaiju attack? Must be another Wednesday in Metropolis. Hey, a crazy being in the sky? Must be Thursday. Well, what do you know? Get, I don't know, alien insurance, right? Like, that's the DC universe of the comics. Snyder and co. didn't understand that, and they went for a realistic approach to fantastical godlike characters. Again, different approaches. But something James Gunn has said now has taken the internet by storm, because he was talking about the next film after Superman starring Superman. And he had an interesting statement that I want to read. And after I read it, then we're going to get into the topic. So this comes from an interview with EW, and it's a extensive conversation talking about the upcoming Superman, and they ask him about the status of Superman 2 and how far along he is on the sequel, because there's been rumors that the next film isn't a Superman film, that it's going to be a Superman team-up, more than likely World's Finest, as the rumors have suggested. James Gunn said, and I quote, "What I'm working on is in some way, I mean, yes, but it's a straight-up Superman sequel? I wouldn't say necessarily," end quote. So did he just confirm it? Let's get to that. Okay, so it's an interesting one because, again, they ask him if he's working on a Superman sequel. And, I mean, look at what he says. What I'm working on is in some way, and then he says yes a couple of times. So it's a film starring Superman. Let's be clear about that. But then he says, but is it a straight-up Superman sequel? I would not say that necessarily. So it is a Superman sequel. It will feature Superman, but it's not Superman 2. It's a stopgap. So think of this like Iron Man 2 to Iron Man 3. In between those films, we of course had The Avengers, which is Iron Man's arc continuing, but after that, his arc also continues off of Iron Man 2 and The Avengers, and well, we get a complete story. It was a stopgap that features Iron Man, arguably as one of the main characters, but not the main. And again, it's not necessarily an Iron Man sequel, but it can be perceived as that in the grand scheme of the story. So what he has just said, to me, reads as, yeah, I am working on a Superman sequel, but it's not Superman 2 or Superman Enter Brainiac or Superman the King Dead or whatever, and that's a deep cut for some of you guys. It's not anything like that. It's instead a film that's going to bridge the gap between Superman and Superman 2, and by the sounds of it, more than likely a team-up because, let's be real, that's what all the rumors have suggested. Now, many of these rumors have come from people who were on point with all the same reports about what Superman would be. A kaiju battle? Check. Lex in his big battle armor? Check. Featuring some sort of connection to Supergirl? Check. Crypto? Check. they've been on point over and over again. So when those same people were out there stating, hey guys, we got scoops, and the next film is Batman versus Superman, or technically Batman and Superman World's Finest, I think that they're on point, and I think James Gunn knows this, which is why he's not debunking it. So when he's not debunking it, the next big question is whether or not this is a smart move. And that's literally most of the conversation I've seen regards to this on any website, any post talking about it, as the fan base is split. And I get it. You think about Batman versus Superman, you automatically think of a jumbled mess. Or maybe you love it. That's fine. It's opinion, right? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's fine. We don't all have to agree. But I think financially and critical reception-wise, if you look at the reception, you have to admit that the film failed with critics and with fans. So from that perspective, people would say this is a bold move and it might not be a smart move. Now, I can counter argue against that and also argue for it. So in regards to it being a bad move, yes, it could be a bad move because, again, you are quickly pulling on the previous disaster and you're going to get compared to it. So naturally, when you're being compared to it, it comes with that stigma of the last one didn't work. What makes them think this one is going to work? And that's always a problem. It is. It's just inherently a problem. Arguing for it, if James Gunn's Superman hits and lands, and people like it, and audiences like it, and it makes, I would say it has to make over $700 million, because we know that's the break even, the next logical step should be a movie that sees Superman slowly starting to form the idea with others of the Justice League. Now, in regards to the Justice League, you laid the foundation, I think, by having Superman meet Batman. And I don't think you make it a versus film. I think you do a World's Finest. Lex Luthor teaming up with, I don't know, maybe the Joker. There's the old fan film from the early 2000s that still gets a lot of buzz because of the effort they put into it, right? The fan film trailer, I should say. And yes, I am talking about the one that features Mr. Lifetime natural Michael Hearn as Superman. If you know, you know, kids. So I think it could work, and it's all in laying down the foundation. And as I said in the beginning, where Zack Snyder failed with his, the DCU is already ahead. And if you can come up with a great story, I think they can do it. So, by all accounts, James Gunn's not debunking that World's Finest. Instead, he's leaning into a Superman sequel that's going to be something different. I think it's safe to say we're getting that team up that's been rumored and pretty much leaked. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.